I saw Madea Presents. I'm assuming that's the subtitle.
Presents. Get it right.
Tyler Perry Presents Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Charlie, you saw
Big Happy Family.
And then Steve, you saw
Medea's Family Reunion.
And in this very special episode, we all three have to convince our guest, Jovan,
in an attempt to not have another tie this year,
that
there's no tie.
That our movie
We'll be here all night, boys. Strap in.
That our movie is better. We'll get there on the other side.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Channing. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Lamb. This is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies, and this is episode 26.
That's the full run.
Full
year.
Yeah, just about. We should be doing a special, here in a prequel coming up soon. I don't know if it's the one after that. There's going to be something special. We're going to add a little thing.
Greatest hits.
In the words of Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
And in Kong Skull Island.
Wait, he says that again?
Yeah, he says, remember in Jurassic Park, that movie that comes out in 20 years?
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
He says that exact line. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The surprise might actually be in one of our older episodes, too.
And,
so if you feel like deleting them and re-downloading them from a different device.
And
we will not judge you.
And we're in the tail end of celebrating St. Pat's today. And I'm with my co-host, Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going? What's going on?
It's going pretty good because, like you said, I am at the tail end of celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so it has been a fantastic day so far.
I can barely remember any of it.
And that's Charlie Pixley. What's up, Chuck? My other co-host.
Just super tired of having so much fun from today.
I mean, this is coming out a week from now, which it will not be St. Pat's anymore. We're recording real early, and I guess people are cleaning the streets. That's a lot of noise.
It's a war zone.
Shit. Everybody, let's get into the bunker.
I got concerned for a second.
Everybody take cover. Everybody take cover. There is a bee horde on the rise.
And then, as I mentioned last episode in the prequel, we have a special guest, Jovan Wallace. Jovan, how's it going?
Bigglesworth.
Jovan Wallace Bigglesworth.
You always
Esquire,
forget.
At the Esquire.
Shit, yeah.
He did not go to law school to not be called Esquire.
It's been a great day here with you guys in the heart of Dogtown, actually really celebrating St. Patrick's Day the right way. Had my first couple of Irish car bombs and never going back. Never
going back to blowing up other people's vehicles.
He was really confused on what an Irish car bomb was before.
I had a Molotov cocktail in my hand. I was walking outside.
Wait, Jovan.
Fortunately, it was a Russian and not an actual Irish person. You destroyed someone's car who we do not care about.
It's not their day. Everybody gets one.
Anyway.
Sorry, I just watched Jim Gaffigan's new stand-up Cinco on Netflix, and he just talks about how you don't really make fun of too many people except Russians. You still just make fun of Russians no matter what.
So, Jovan, we're gonna have to convince you about our movies, and just a little recap here. We see bad movies and we try to make them sound good. Podcast in defense of bad movies. I said that earlier. And on this episode, Charlie saw this is another Madea episode. And Charlie, you saw Medea's
Big Happy Family.
And I saw Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And Steve, you saw Medea's
Family Reunion.
And
Jesus Christ.
This was you.
Just hearing it just sounds so much bad, so much hours of badness from and I know there's just more movies.
Well,
Like we could do another 3 or 4 of these episodes. Like there's enough.
Yes,
like,
just on Madea movies.
Yeah, we
Tyler
could,
Perry
including Jovan, as in like 3 people are seeing movies. We still have several episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jovan, I'm gonna let you. We're convincing you. You take the reins right now. You're gonna ask us questions to try to figure out what's the best movie, because mine's the best.
I rented mine on iTunes, and they did offer the stage version, like a professionally shot one. I almost got that one, but I decided not to.
Like I swear to God, I haven't even seen those things. So we should have did that. I kind of thought about doing that. I was like, that's too much. It's too blurry. That's before HD. Like it's terrible. But let's go ahead and go counterclockwise. Shaky cam. Black people talking in the theater cam, but whatever. Let's go ahead and start with Steve. Give me a quick synopsis of what went on in your wonderful.
Okay, my movie was kind of almost like 3 vignettes.
Ooh.
So like the first one is there's a woman, Lisa, and her husband is clearly
You love a good raspberry vignette salad dressing.
Damn it, Tro. No,
Every day for lunch.
She's not married, but the guy that she's engaged to, he is clearly abusive. Like the first time you see him, you're like, this dude is hitting her. Like the movie starts up and he like talks to her and like leaves, and you're like, that dude's gonna hit her later. And sure enough, he does. So like the first one is she's engaged to him currently, but clearly something's wrong, and so it's about her gaining the strength to get away from him. And the second one is it's her sister, and the guy who drives the bus that she usually takes, he's pretty much hitting on her. And then it's about her learning, because she has 2 children from 2 separate fathers.
Here we go.
And it's and that story is about her learning to trust and love again.
And she doesn't want to date him because you drive a bus, get away from me.
No, actually,
Special guest appearance by Jerome Bettis.
She basically says, after my last marriage kind of fell apart, I decided to be celibate. So, and she like tells it to this guy. She's like, I'm not gonna have sex with you. So what now? And he's like,
ever?
Until she's married. Until she's married.
Okay.
She's like, I'm not gonna have sex again until I'm married.
Okay.
So like, if that's all you're looking for, you should go somewhere else. And it's about him getting her to trust her. You don't like. Oh my God.
I just thought Jovan is just very forefront with everything he's thinking.
I'm gonna, which is fine because it's telling me how I need to restructure my arguments.
I'm gonna make sure you get it right. Go ahead.
All right, Steve, we got 2 more movies that we gotta.
What's the third? What's the third?
And the third one is Madea is in court again, like apparently happens in several Madea movies, and she has a choice. She can either go to prison or she can become a foster parent for this other troubled youth. Because despite
troubled youth,
because despite the fact that she is Madea, she is a good, reasonable disciplinarian.
Yeah.
She's like so the
I mean,
judges,
she just pulls out her gun.
That's
Reasonable disciplinary.
That's what you give a convict.
right? Yeah. So the judge is like, you can either go to you can go to prison or you can take this girl home and help her out because she's been running away from all of her foster homes. And so that's the third story, is about Madea with this girl and kind of bringing her around from being a at-risk youth to being a possible productive member of society, and like learning that she can be more than just a prostitute, because that is a literal thing that is said. She's like my last foster mother said that the only thing I was ever going to be good at was laying on my back.
Yikes!
Yeah, and Medea's
that's awful.
Yeah, and Medea's like, it's not about where you're from; it's about where you're going.
Wow.
So like, if you wanna advance further in your life, do it. Don't care about what other people think you should be doing.
Now she's
Get it
instead of a
Tempur-Pedic.
teen at risk. Now she's a teen at risk at gunpoint. That's great.
Exactly.
Tyler, what's up with your?
Yeah,
film?
Diary of a Mad Black Woman. This movie, Madea becomes a foster parent to a child that is she was
Just
part
keep
of.
giving this woman kids, huh?
Oh wait, oh no, that was Steve's movie.
No, I was gonna say I saw a majority of this movie and I do not recall a foster child.
No, this movie was about a woman that was in a relationship with a big time lawyer.
Okay.
And she she's being treated like shit. She gets kicked out of the house
Aw, dang it.
for
Really, Charlie?
for another woman.
the hand motion. I thought.
For another woman, and this guy that she's been married to for 18 years actually has like been fucking this other woman and has like two children
sorry.
with this other woman, and he's like, no, you need to get out of the house. Ooh. And then it's just kind of about her
Get
kind
into
of
my car.
it's about her just kind of realize like how just bouncing back from that whole like 18 years of marriage and just being kicked out of the house and being like
To the
hey,
curb.
pretty much. And it's just her like kind of rebound, being able to become her own person and realizing what makes her and things like that.
How many montages of that were there?
At least 3. I'm calling.
That's what I was gonna say. 3. I was gonna say at least 3.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
There's no
honestly-
other storylines to follow. There's just her and.
It's about this main character, and she is because she is writing in her diary, and so you hear her.
Because she is a mad black woman.
You hear her, yeah, she is. You hear her voiceover, and she actually calls herself a mad black woman, and you're like, that's where the title.
No,
came
I
from.
remember her signing it. She's like, signed a mad black woman. And I was like,
Crunchy.
And so that's there's no other side plot. It's all about this character and how she. Yeah.
All right, Charlie.
Mine's about this lady, and she's been married to this
What's
guy
this-
for
this
18
lady's
years.
name?
And he's been cheating on her with this other lady.
That's significant, huh?
Okay, mine is Medea's Big Happy Family, and it's about her friend who comes down with cancer, and she's getting really sick. She's not even that old, really, but she has fully grown children, though.
Okay.
They're in probably their early 30s and stuff, and their whole family, and they kind of have issues all in their own way, and they kind of walk all over her and take advantage of her. Madea helps them kind of come together and sort out their differences, and kind of, you get more of it in that one. but just
helping Steve out with this.
This is like the first one to get to that point to bring them back together as a family, because they're completely splintered into, there's 2 daughters and 1 younger brother.
Okay. And do they have their own separate storylines also?
Yeah, pretty much. So the oldest daughter has the black dude from the Old Spice commercials, Isaiah Mustafa. The dude who looks
I
like...
thought you were going to say Terry Crews. I was like, fuck!
I know, I wouldn't know
even-
Terry Crews by name.
Even so, that motherfucker is just handsome. as
He's
fuck.
like a Ken
he's-
doll.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that guy
Talk
is
about
a
Except
for a
you
second,
know,
guys? Oh
he
my
has a
God.
dick.
What?
Ken dolls don't have dicks.
Oh, okay.
But this man
He
has
does.
multiple.
Wow.
he has an infinite amount more than a Ken doll. So
That's great.
one.
That's crazy. All right. So,
So the older lady, she just is treating him like shit, and then the older daughter, and then the medium-aged daughter, middle-aged, the medium-aged,
I was
the
like,
large-aged daughter,
Mid-age.
the middle-aged daughter,
The vintage
also
age.
treats her husband like shit, and then the young
I thought Vente was the
brother
largest.
has
Shouldn't it be Grande?
baby mama and a girlfriend, and they
Grande.
both treat him like shit.
wow.
Yes.
So this family sucks is basically what you're telling me.
It's a Madea movie.
It's portraying real, like, actual people that are shitty sometimes. Not
okay.
like, we're one big happy family. It's cool. No.
Wait, isn't the title of your movie Big Happy Family?
Maybe at the end, that's what happens.
But it wasn't set
They
up.
come
properly.
together to
No.
become a big happy family.
Okay.
Damn it!
Why would they do that? That's gross.
Because
dude.
they listen
come together.
because they listen to that one Beatles song.
Okay, we gotta kind of keep it short. I know that.
Now.
I'm never gonna listen to that song. Same.
Over me.
That's awful. Okay, so my first question, blanket question for all three of you guys: how much domestic violence is in each of your?
Who's going
Are we
first?
including verbal? Because then it's like
it's all-
infinite.
Wait, how
Wait,
do we
including-
quantify this?
No, including verbal.
No.
No, because then that's
No,
the
overly-
entirety of everybody's movie.
Overly aggressive, like your family. You can say some things to one another,
you-
but things that would definitely cause a fight.
Do you want us to give a specific scene?
I would love that.
Okay, all right.
Half of my goddamn
Hold
movie.
on. Do you want? I'll give a very specific scene
Give
that
a very specific scene
that was
where
overt domestic violence.
Okay.
So there's the guy that this mad black woman was married to ends up becoming paralyzed for a while, and she
yeah, Charlie, laugh it up.
and she.
Well, saying for a while, it's just like funny
'cause-
to me.
Well, because he gets shot in the back, and it's like, oh, it's not.
how
it's-
the mighty have fallen.
It's temporary. Like he can recover, but he's like still fucked for now. And she's like kind of taking care of him. And she takes the wheelchair. And Steve
No,
saw
I watched this and I was like,
Replicated
what?
a scene from Friday the
she
13th, like
takes the
part
wheelchair
3, maybe.
and charges towards the full bathtub and just dunks this man off of the wheelchair into the bathtub, who is paralyzed, like cannot move
you
his
could kill him
arms
like
or
that.
legs, and he's just like his mouth is barely. He's like. And
his-
she's like, yeah,
his
you
mouth is
piece
in-
of shit. He's like,
I will say I watched it. His mouth was partially underwater, so he was barely breathing out of his nose, and he was consistently sinking lower.
Oh, wow.
Like she was just watching this dude
How long
getting
did this go
closer.
on?
It was a long scene. Sorry,
I would say maybe 30 minutes.
That is a mad.
No.
Okay, it was probably like, I don't know, a couple minutes.
it was long enough that I was like, I'm no
maybe
longer
maybe a
on.
minute.
how was this resolved? This drowning man in the tub.
He dies.
Oh well, he ends up regaining.
Fade to black credits.
You wish your movie was that good.
He ends up regaining his power to walk by the Lord.
Oh.
So that's how.
No, she scared him into being. No, I'm joking.
No, the Lord scared him into walking again.
That's hilarious.
That's a good point.
It's true.
Okay. and did you feel like it was justified, like how he was treating her and everything like that? Because you never really get to see a main character kind of exact some sort of revenge. They always have to be the bigger person. So I kind of like seeing that. sometimes.
I mean, he was a total.
Oh, just you wait for mine.
He was a total asshole to her. Like there were scenes where it was like, man, this guy's a fucking dick. But it was one of those things where he wasn't like discreetly a dick to the extent that it made her seem like a fucking idiot for staying around.
Okay.
Like it's like, okay, yeah, this guy is a piece of shit. What do you? And she's like, but I love him. And you're like, okay, but okay, then throw him in the bathtub, I guess. Like that's
how I deal
Wait,
with my
wait a
problems.
minute.
I throw all of them in the bathtub. I write them.
You said there was a mistress, or not even a mistress?
we'll get there, Jovan.
Okay,
We're
okay.
on domestic abuse,
Okay,
and we got 2 other specific scenes that need to be described.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to get to those. Steve, how about you?
Mine's gonna take up a while. Charlie, you go ahead and go first. Okay. I got plenty of domestic violence.
One of them that jumped. Yeah, I'm sure all of us have
Oh, yeah.
multiple ones in our movies. I'm just gonna do one. So the Isaiah Mustafa relationship. This is the first scene with the couple in their house.
It was weird because he kept saying, "Look at me," and look at your
Yeah.
girlfriend, and like look at me, and
There's
scene was changing
there's a
behind him.
baby on the ground that isn't doing anything, right? And there's like one toy.
Well, it's a baby.
There's
What is he
one
gonna
to-
do?
Like,
Field
just
goal.
listen, you'll hear
They're
it.
about to kick it.
You'll hear
Okay.
it. The toy sitting on the ground, like right next to it, clearly just placed there, and the mom is just yelling at the baby, like, "Put your toy away! what are you doing? Put your toy away.
To a baby?
Yes. And the guy goes,
How
what are
old's
you
this baby?
doing?
How old's this baby?
Hold on. Then she's like, you can't keep babying him like that. And he goes, he's 18 months.
Oh my!
Oh. And she's like, she goes, you are always disrespecting me and my wishes. I don't like it when you talk to me like that. And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Like I'm
that's
truly
an
horrified
infant.
right now. Wow.
18 months.
Put your toys away.
You're babying him.
What is
yes.
a toy?
Your toy.
I mean, it is a baby,
Yes.
so reasonable.
Do some push-ups, man. What's wrong with you?
You're 18 months. You should have killer tries.
Wow. Okay, Steve.
Okay.
That's horrible.
So my domestic abuse is pretty overt. Like I said, when you first meet one of the main characters, you can tell this dude's about to hit the girl. And so they're engaged, and they go off to a spa day, and she forgets her phone, and like they come back to the house, and her friends
If there's
have
ever
brought
a reason for hitting a girl, she
Wait.
forgot her phone.
wait for it. So her friends also brought ordered a stripper for the afternoon.
Okay.
And so he comes in, and he's dancing, and her fiance comes in.
Oh no.
And
Sorry.
and he's like, no, it's fine. And in my notes, I was like, cool with it? ? Doubt it. And then so she's like, you guys need to leave. And so she gets them to leave, and she closes the door, and as she's turning back around, he's just there and slaps her. I was like, oh damn, where did he come from?
Open
But
palm.
He definitely
Open palm?
Yes.
Okay.
He hits her
baby
a lot,
powder?
but late no baby powder. But later she's trying, like in the middle of the night, she's
Batman
trying to
gauntlet
leave.
back.
Okay.
She's like putting on clothes. I'm like, bitch, why are you putting on clothes? You just need to leave. Like he's asleep. Get the fuck out of this house. He wakes she's putting on clothes, and she looks up, and he's just like sitting at the end of the
sounds
bed
like
and
a
in the
Jason
mirror.
scene.
No, it's terrifying.
Some Cape Fear shit.
because he's like, you gonna leave me? She's like, I can't do this anymore.
Squeal.
They establish that they're living in like a 30th floor penthouse.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, the only way you're leaving me is out this balcony window. And he like opens up the sliding glass door and starts dragging her towards this like 30th floor balcony. I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, is this girl dead already?
What genre were these movies?
This was
Horror
minute
films?
5 for Steve.
It was probably minute 10 or 20.
Oh wow. Okay, we gotta set the tone.
I went to
Some women are gonna get hit in this movie.
I was terrified.
You were asking about what the genre was for him. I had to go to Hollywood Video to get mine, and they had like this little back room with these beads and this curtain that I had to go to the side to go.
Well, I
in the
mean,
back
they at
and
least
grab it.
they cleaned your DVD before they gave it to you, right?
I had to like peel it off.
Well, really, the Hollywood Video typically, especially when you have to walk through the bead room, they're like, hey, no, we understand. We got to clean this DVD before you return.
No,
it.
this
If
was
there-
a,
and they
this
say
is
if
a really
they-
cheap one.
They say if there are any stains, you pay for the cleaning.
Anyway, so the other good scene of domestic violence is the main character, the first character that I was just talking about. His name was Lisa.
Good scene of
Her-
domestic violence.
Her sister's name was Vanessa, and her mom is Victoria. So later at the family reunion, Lisa, like the mom's still trying to get Lisa to marry the guy that she's with. Mm-hmm. Because like when Lisa first tells her about it, her mom's like, "Suck it up, like fucking, he's got a lot of money. Just don't do whatever it is that you do that makes him hit you." And I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Okay.
What?
So and
Look what you made me do.
throughout the entire movie, her older sister's like, "Do not stay with this guy. Like, mom's crazy. Do not stay with this guy." Because her and her mom have like a real bad relationship. And at the family reunion, the older sister is finally like, "Don't make her marry this guy if she doesn't want to." And her mom slaps her. And I was like, "Oh," and before I could finish saying "oh damn" to myself in my room by myself, the older sister just slugs her mom.
Oh wow.
I was like, "Oh damn!" Like fist fight at the family reunion. Let's go.
Okay.
So Ice Cube and Charlie Day showed up?
Yes.
And then, oh, fuck.
Oh wow. I'm sorry. This got dark real quick.
My movie has a lot of dark themes, but it does have an overall really good message.
Okay.
Which I will get to eventually.
Okay.
I'm sure
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
Let's bring it back around. What are some happy moments you guys got out of these movies? Oh wow.
Wait, I'm scanning through the whole movie. Hold
Okay.
on.
Anyone
Happy.
can answer.
Yeah, happy moments.
Since I just talked, I'll open the floor to the others.
There's this scene I really liked when a lot of the adult characters, none of the younger children, I mean they're still in their 30s, but all the typical cast that's in the Madea, I forget their names. It's the older lady that always has like the beehive hair.
Oh yeah,
she was in my movie too, but
Yeah.
I'm never.
I think she was
really,
in my movie. She was
her
also in like
husband.
Secret Life of Bees, I think.
I don't even really know. I don't know that they really. I mean, I'm sure they talk about her, but I just never remember hearing her name when they talk to her.
They're all in the dining room, and her husband, he's always sitting in like a lazy boy chair outside of the room making comments, throwing comments in there and stuff. And
You talking about Joe?
yeah, and for 5 minutes, he's sitting there going, help me, for 5 minutes. And I'm like, nobody's addressing it. So when I'm watching this, I'm thinking like, what the fuck is wrong with this movie? And eventually they stop. And I'm serious. It was about 5 minutes. And Medea's like, what the hell are you talking about? What, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that wasn't
She
me.
pulls
That
a
was
gun on him.
No, he's doing this long con, and then he just goes, that was the floor.
That was the what?
The floor. What? It's so fucking stupid. And then he goes on this rant saying like, oh, can't you guys hear those shit, what do you call those bugs that eat wood? Termites. He's like, the termites are under the floorboards going, abort, abort. And just he goes on this whole thing roasting them. And they continue the dialogue with the other characters. And in the background, he's just going and just making fun of her. And all of them really ripping on him for being fat and stuff. And so that was
That's
a
what family
happy
does.
moment.
I would say a happy moment in my movie was when the main character, she took the wheelchair of the guy and just shoved him in the bathtub. No,
I gotta say, like when that happened, I was like, damn.
no, that wasn't a happy moment. I think that a definite happy moment was when the main character kind of just resolves her own problems, and near the end, the resolution of just being like, oh, okay, no longer being a fucking idiot.
Resolves her own problems by throwing the guy that hates her into the fucking bathtub and drowns him.
So I mean, I honestly, I don't think my movie wasn't much of a comedy. So it was more of a dramatic film. So the happy moment was the resolution.
Okay. What about you, Steve?
For me, this Madea has this foster child, and she ends up kind of really bringing her around to the idea that she can be more than just what her
Prostitute?
Yeah, a prostitute, and it's really which. Honestly, that scene was like really funny because even though like the whole scene is about Madea being like, you don't have to be like, just try, work hard, and it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you end, that sort of thing. And she also says at one point, it doesn't matter what people call you, it matters what you respond to.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I was like, man, this is a decent message, like in the middle of this, which normally it doesn't happen, but like when Madea says you don't have to be a prostitute, and the girl's talking about like, my last foster mom said the only thing I was going to be good at was laying on my back. Joe, Medea's brother, Tyler Perry's character's father, he was like, is that Jennifer? Sounds like Jennifer. I knew a Jennifer. And it's like, all she did. And I don't know why. Like, it came out of nowhere, and it just cracked me up.
That sounds fun.
I have a better joy moment for my movie that I just remembered. There's a scene where the main character first moves in with Madea, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here? You were in a huge mansion." Like, what? And she's like, "No, we're getting divorced." Like this, and she's like, "Oh, okay, well that's half of it's all your half, you know." And she's like, "No, it's I signed a prenup." And she's like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck did you sign a prenup? Who told you to?" And then it gets to the point where she's like, "No, what were you doing while he was at work?" She's like, "Well, I was cooking and cleaning the whole house, dude." And she's like, "That sounds like a job to me." And Madea goes, "No, we're gonna figure out how much you earn." And she like pulls out a calculator, and she's like, "So you did this?" And she's like, "Yeah." And you hear like, she's like, "So when he wanted sex, you had sex, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, well, was it good?" And she goes, "No." And he's like, "Ooh, that's a deduction." and then she goes, "But he did hit me." And she goes, "Ooh." And just like types the fuck out of this calculator. She's like, "Oh yeah, this is ooh." And that was actually kind of funny, and it was a joyous moment.
Itemizing domestic disputes.
I did also have like a good feel-good moment. the older sister who is kind of not trusting in love anymore, the guy that's courting her, for I think it's their first date actually, their first actual date out. He takes her to this. It's almost like a jazz club sort of thing, and it ends up being a poetry club that she doesn't know that he signed them up for. And basically, what it is two people sign up, and one person tells some poetry, and the other person creates art, like does a painting.
And everybody puts their keys in a bowl.
Yes. No. They have 2 minutes, so he just signs her up, and he's like, tell some poetry, and I'm gonna make some art to it. And all these people, everyone's real welcoming, like everyone cheers him on and everything. It's just like, just be yourself, say what's from your heart. I'm gonna create something from my heart, and that's just where we're at.
And he just rips his heart out of his chest.
And lays it on the ground.
I was gonna create something from my heart.
She basically says a poem that she created about how she's not sure if she can love again, and he creates something for her specifically.
How old's this girl?
She's
17.
No, she's probably late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
Because she has 2 kids, and they're both probably 5 and 8, somewhere in that area, and it's been a while since she's been with her last husband.
Okay. I got another question. I like the pinata question you guys always do. I like the pizza question you guys always do. But I have my own spin on it. My guilty pleasure.
So what kind of pizza pinata would this be?
No.
If it was a pinata, what would it look like, and what kind of pizza would come out?
If your movie was a pinata,
what piping
kind of
hot pizza would fall out of this greasy pinata?
That's what I was about to say.
I know. I cut you off. I finally got one.
Yeah. Thank you, Jovan. For years. Years.
I've heard the podcast. I'm on your side, Steve. But if your movie was an ice cream, what kind of ice cream and what kind of toppings would be in said ice cream?
This is a leading question.
Yeah, it's gonna lead us to some fun. Let's go, guys.
Who do you want to hear from first?
I want to hear from you first, Tyler.
All right.
Thank God.
Or I know Charlie is really good at stalling. So I kind of want to hear from him first.
I mean, who's good at stalling is me for somebody else.
Joseph Stalin.
You know
Mine
what?
would be. I'll go.
Okay, perfect.
Because I got something whipped up in my mind. So mine would be in a container that it's like the white container for an Airheads mystery flavor, right?
Ooh.
So it's got question marks all over it, and you don't know what's inside. You open it up, and it looks like just some chocolate ice cream, but it has chocolate covered like balls in it. Now bear with me. There would be a bunch of mini Nestle Wonder Balls in it because you don't know what you're going to get. Because in this movie, there's these 2 people that I assumed were husband and wife the entire time. And towards the very end, she's like, yeah, you're telling me he's not my dad? I was like, whoa, what?
Wait, are you talking about Joe and Madea?
No.
'Cause I thought
You're
they
the
were
only
married.
one that thought they were married.
I thought they were like.
No, he's not, because I
Earlier.
always thought they were married.
They're brother and sister.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they're not married.
Black people don't do that. No. I'm not letting that one go.
You're not
Wait,
co-signing
so you're
that
saying
even
these
for
are
a
normal
Madea
black
movie.
people, though? Gotcha. Trapped.
Back me in the corner, that one.
Anyway, so that happens, or I took a picture or 2, I'll show you in a bit, where I was like, holy shit, this lady's older than this guy. Mm-hmm. And he's the father. And then it also turns out that Bow Wow is the young son. And
Bow Wow or Lil Bow Wow? Has he grown out of Lil Bow Wow?
Mr. Shad
he actually
Moss.
was a decent actor.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I think the problem is like whenever
He's
any
Bow
rap,
Wow.
whenever any rap artist transitions into acting, they can't.
Rap artist.
I think the problem is.
I'm just saying like it's
Rap
hard.
artiste.
It's hard to get away from your old moniker, and it just makes you sound ridiculous in an acting setting. Like the same thing with The Rock. Like even though The Rock is still like a very big like just him having to be referred to as The Rock.
There's no problem.
Fucking awesome.
Yes.
Isn't the best in general.
I think the
He
real
rock
problem.
bottoms everybody.
I think
in one of his
the real
movies.
problem.
I think he rock bottomed the little girl in the Tooth Fairy movie.
The real problem.
No,
with,
his daughter in the gameplay.
She got the people's elbow, actually.
I watched that movie in theaters. Go ahead, Tyler.
No, I got confused with Romeo and Bow Wow, so I'm not gonna make my joke. I just
Ouch.
realized last
Shit.
second.
Foolish.
So,
So-
anyway, it would be the mystery
Ouch.
container
I'm
with
glad
the
I got
chocolate
cut
ice
off
cream
so many
filled with
times.
Nestle Wonder Balls. Because ooh I do.
What's in a
What's
Wonder
in a
Wall?
Wall?
Wait,
And-
Wonder Ball, not Wonder Wall.
Yeah.
Well, here's Wonder Wall.
And because that reveal happens,
Way
and
to
then it
meme
also,
it out.
at this final dinner when she's trying to tell her kids that she has cancer, and nobody really wants to go to the dinner. She's like, please just come, it's really important. And they start arguing and stuff, and the younger sister tells the older sister, like, hey, you think I'm so ghetto, you're embarrassed to me, you're the one that had a kid when you're 13. And she's like, oh,
Whoa.
fuck.
13's
Yeah.
real young.
And about I was like, where is he? And she goes, you should look in a mirror. So that his older sister's his mom, but the grandma took care of him. So it's like that's happened multiple times in this movie where it's like, what the fuck? So that's why it would be Wonder Balls.
Okay. Tyler.
I'd
My-
probably eat that, except
my-
it have stickers in it. So
Yeah.
And sweet tarts.
My ice cream would be
That's
a
food.
kind of.
chocolate ice cream with chocolate chips.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. And chocolate ice cream with chocolate chips. Fuck off.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had to explain myself.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Because there's just
I thought Jovan was the new one to the podcast.
there's just
We all know how unprepared Tyler is.
no. I
he did just finish the movie.
it's because when you're eating a chocolate ice cream, you got that flavor of chocolate in your mouth, and then you got that chocolate chip. You're surprised that there's just an extra bit of chocolate coming at you. That was just the layers of extra bit of what was going on in this movie. Like you'd be
Filibustering,
like,
yeah.
you would be like, oh, I'm eating this movie up. Like I'm doing this. Like oh, okay, this is going on. This is So that's why it's
Nice.
Okay, so I'm the only one
Deduction?
that's going to be talking about a ice cream that shouldn't really be an ice cream flavor.
I mean, mine probably shouldn't either.
It's gonna be way better than what I'm about to say. It's going to be basically vanilla ice cream with swirled in nice buttery grits.
Oh.
what?
Yes.
Awful.
Hey, at least they don't use bad buttery grits.
Yeah, he said good buttery
Yeah.
grits.
Or
No,
mean
'cause
buttery
Not
grits.
the good stuff, not the great value kind, guys.
Because about halfway through the movie, the two sisters are because the older sister is living with Madea, so and then after the guy is beating her a bunch, the younger sister kind of moves in with Madea as well, and they're talking about it, and the younger sister finally reveals to her older sister that her
She loves
fiance
grits.
No, that her fiance is hitting her.
Okay.
And like as they're talking about it, Madea comes in and she's like, "Don't tell Madea because Madea gets
We'll pull a gun out.
yeah,
and
because
shoot somebody.
Medea gets crazy when that sort of thing happens." And they basically say like hypothetically, Madea, like what would you do if someone's husband was beating your friend?
And she said, "Pull a gun." Yeah, she said, "Pull a gun out."
Wow, you just went like South Park R. Kelly, didn't you?
That's exactly what I think of Madea. Like that trapped in the closet
Yeah.
episode of South Park.
but like she's like, what should we do about him? She's like, well, what should we do about his funeral? Like, because he's
dead now.
Yeah, no,
Let's go.
but she's like
Grits.
No, she's like you make that man breakfast. Like if
Good
he's
grits.
hitting you, you make him breakfast in the morning. You get a nice piping hot bowl, like pot of grits, and then you throw it on his goddamn face, and then you hit him with this skillet until he's not moving.
This is premeditated at this point.
Shit, yeah.
Jeez.
And
I was
later,
trying to lighten the thing up, Steve.
no,
What are
I'm
you
sorry.
doing?
I'm sorry.
You can write it. I know.
Because
I know.
that happened, and then at the end of the movie, like she comes to Medea's house and she's not wearing her wedding dress. Like it's right before the wedding's supposed to be happening, and Medea's like, "Oh, hey there, girl."
Wait, but that would mean she's not going to get married.
She's like, "Oh,
Wait.
Lordy, girl."
Wait, she's like, all right, we're gonna go to the church. You know, you guys stay, because he comes to talk to her. He's like, finally, he comes to Medea's house because he knows that that's where she tends to go. And so she's not ready for the wedding, and like he comes in and he's like, "Can I talk to Lisa alone?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "By the way, Lisa, I got a pot of grits on the stove." And he basically comes after her, and she dumps a pot of grits in his face, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of him with a griddle.
Big happy family?
Family reunion.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, with a skillet or with a full-size griddle?
No, it was a skillet, like a cast iron skillet. Sorry, that was my mistake.
What?
This is.
Medea calls it.
I don't know if
grits
anyone
ball.
at this table has actually eaten grits, but that's basic.
I've eaten grits.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
I mean,
racist motherfucker.
my girlfriend didn't eat grits until like last month. So, but yeah, that's.
Yeah, but she's a month old.
But yeah, that seems like a pretty big domestic violence suit. That was premeditated. That was
Well, to be fair, Medea premeditated it. The girl didn't necessarily premeditate it.
Okay. All right. I guess
Medea.
if there's a loophole. You can find it.
Oddly enough, Medea thought ahead to have grits made, but the girl didn't premeditate the whole event.
Yeah.
If you got
I'm just making breakfast. I don't know what's going on.
if you got a good lawyer, you can.
Yeah.
which
swing
is
that.
which is Tyler Perry's character.
Yes, in all of our movies, I'm assuming.
In lots of movies,
I mean, all of our movies, he was.
I love how he's
Gone
the
Girl.
only I love how he's like the only distinguished, reasonable person in all these movies. He's just like, hey,
And
I'm
he's
just,
always like,
I'm
"Oh
just
my
a
God,
regular
you
guy.
guys."
I don't know what's going on here.
Guys, I'm a lawyer.
And he looks at the camera and goes, boing, boing.
Wowza.
How many old Lawdy type moments in you guys' movies that made Madea famous are there? Like,
I mean, she does the whole Lord, and then she tells
Where
teaches
she
the kid,
she
like,
puts R's in for the
I mean,
L's
she
for no
threatens
apparent reason.
the kid like she says, "I will beat your ass unless you start, speaking to people correctly." So you say, "Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir," and he's like, "Hello," and she's like, "No, hello." And he's like, "Hello."
What is that?
No,
What
hello,
is that
hello,
about? By the way,
hello.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And until he says it,
Because in mine, she did the hurley-luya.
yeah.
Oh my God, she didn't do any of that in my movie.
oh wow, she wasn't shucking and jiving.
She had her gun out minute one. Medea was in the film. Like the second Medea was in the movie, she had her gun cocked and was like, "What the fuck is going on?" What? And she did a lot of the like mispronouncing things or adding like weird like she would put like a T in something. No, not even like. It was a like she would say something. I was like, okay, nobody says that like that. Like you just added a T in the middle of your.
In ours, they say for DNA, they call it Dana, and even the other black people in the movie are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" and they even say at the end, they go, nobody says it like that.
That's so funny, man.
Is it?
I haven't paid for any of these movies, so
I paid $4 for my
Same
movie.
here.
I'm sorry you guys had to do that.
I definitely paid money for mine as well.
Oh wow.
Damn, Steve got away.
What about you, Steve? How many of those moments are in your movie where you just get that loving Madea?
Honestly, Medea was not in my movie a whole lot. Like the storyline with her and the foster kid was kind of small. Mm-hmm. It was the scene with her at the court, like ending up with her, and then them going back home, and then there was like one or two more scenes with her there. Okay. And then at the end when they're getting ready for the wedding, the wedding planner is real,
A Jennifer Lopez movie?
No,
Is that,
the wedding planner is real rude. It's like she
monster-in-law.
like at the time, because the woman who's supposed to be getting married is currently beating up the man who's supposed to marry her. Like
I can't keep.
So a Jennifer Lopez movie.
I got it. That's I forget what that. Enough. That's the Jennifer Lopez
yeah,
movie you're thinking.
enough.
I can't tell what's going on in Steve's movie other than a lot of violence.
There is a lot of violence.
Like
in the movie.
I don't know who's beating up who at this point.
Everyone,
but
and
like
everyone.
because they're the wedding's late. The wedding planner's real rude, And she's like, this is why I don't deal with black people. They're so, and I was like, and she's a black woman. Like the wedding planner is a black woman.
My God.
And she's like, this is why I don't deal with black people. They're so ignorant. And Medea's just like, what now?
And the crowd went, ooh.
Like they're at, I think they're at a Catholic church.
Wait, what did Madea do then?
No, Medea's like, you don't. And she's like, I'm a Baptist. You don't know what I'm about to do with this. Like she's like, I will beat you down in this church.
Well, she won't dance. We know that.
She does dance later.
Okay.
What? She said she was a Baptist. I call shenanigans.
No, but she's like, you better pray to God right now because I'm about to stomp you out.
I've seen Footloose. I know Baptists don't dance.
And of course she brings up God a lot when she's at court because she's like, I've seen God. You know, she because whenever she's in court,
Gotti.
whenever she's in court, she's always like, I've seen the light. You know, like I will not do this again. Like hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah. Like
Yeah,
there's an
know.
R somewhere in there that
I
I cannot comprehend.
I'm sorry, guys.
This motherfucker's never seen a single movie, and he just.
It's been on in my household so much, and I just run away from it. Like at family gatherings. At family gatherings,
at family reunions,
at big happy families,
happy family
at
reunions.
Diaries of a Mad Black Woman.
Especially when these things first started coming out, like after the party was like winding down, there was always a Madea play on the TV, or when the movie started coming out, a movie, and I was just like, I can't get involved with this. So I've heard all the hallelujahs and oh lords. So
And the gun cocks.
Yeah, and the gun cocks. And, yeah, peace be still. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys want to flesh out in like the endings of these movies?
This is final thoughts before you make your.
Not final thoughts because I think I got one more good question, but just like flesh out what starts to happen towards where all these things start getting resolved or how they start getting resolved.
So the one daughter, all the kids are good friends with the mom still. Like they have their problems, but they're still the children, except for the oldest daughter, like won't speak to her. The mom, and she already has like full-blown cancer at this point. She's dying within a matter of days, and she takes a bus out to see her daughter, and her daughter's super rich, has a nice mansion. She walks up the door, and the daughter's like, what the fuck are you doing here? How'd you even get here? She's like, I took the bus. She says, the nearest bus stop is like 5 miles away. And she's like, yeah, then I walked here. She's like, well, I don't give a shit. You can just leave. It's like, oh my God. And the husband, it's like, the husband is being really nice at first, but eventually he goes, girl, that is your mother.
Chill out.
And she's like, you can come inside. You know,
at least sit down for a bit.
Yeah. And I mean,
would you like a glass of water after walking 5 miles?
Eyes are just completely like half shut constantly. She keeps in between every other sentence. She's just like, I'm just so tired. It's like, and for her to be so dismissive of her, just like, I don't give a shit. You can go fuck off. But she ends up missing her mother's death, whereas all the other kids were there. So that was a little sweet justice then.
Oh, okay.
She goes to the hospital. She's like, what's the big deal? She's probably faking it. And it's like, oh.
She's probably faking
Or
it?
just like, she's fine. She's just over-exaggerating.
She's trying to get some attention.
She's dead.
Little Munchausen.
It's like, oh, and then she, of course, flips the script and everything. But the other kids...
By dying.
Bow Wow gets his shit together. The other lady... Her problem... Her kids, the one Madea teaches how to say her... the kids don't respect the dad because the dad gets walked on by the mom all the time. So the inspirational part of that story was Madea teaching the husband how to talk down to his wife.
Oh my
Like,
God.
isn't that essentially what happens in Boo as well? Like, because...
I don't know.
Dude, I have almost completely blocked that movie out of my mind.
The cheering on point of that movie is when he's talking to his wife and saying like, "You need to stop yelling at me. You need to stop telling me what to do." Blah blah blah. And he's he's looking over at Madea. Medea's in the background like mouthing what to say. And at the end, Madea mouths to him to say, "No, go over there, shut up, and sit your ass down." And then Medea's like, "Oh, you did such a good job," and she's just like, "Okay." And that's her learning moment. It's like, what the fuck?
Right, sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. Call somebody a bitch or something.
But so that couple's fine. Bow Wow, both his his baby mama and then his gold digger girlfriend leave him, and
Wait, his baby mama
gets,
and
like,
gold digger girlfriend?
Yeah, well, she's
Okay.
just collecting child support from him and complaining to him the whole time.
Thank God for condoms and personal responsibility, right?
So, but they leave him, which is the best for him because they were just kind of like getting him to deal drugs and stuff like that. So he gets his shit together, gets a job, and it's just like, okay, I got to focus on paying child support for my kid and just, following my own path and not getting distracted by these chicken heads.
Oh, okay.
I
I haven't
got-
heard the phrase chicken head
yeah.
in a
And
very long
no,
time.
same
Charlie.
here. I was like, oh,
Point,
shit.
Charlie.
A very
Congratulations.
fallacious woman.
He's
That
like,
was definitely an achievement.
Well, the baby mama
unlocked.
isn't a chicken head, I guess, but the gold digger one is.
Okay.
that was a good use of the word chicken
Yeah.
head.
It's been an age for
If you-
me as well.
If you saw these chicks.
I just want to, before I go into fleshing out my thing, did either of our movies, any three of them, have rape jokes or rape plot points?
Oh, yeah.
I was trying
Oh, definitely.
Okay, well
Charlie
then,
just dabbed on it.
well,
It's about to go down.
Well then, we're gonna talk about that later. Apparently, the end of my movie, the woman decides, like the mad black woman, she moves on from the guy who's
Which
a total
isn't
asshole.
Madea.
No, it's not. She moves.
It really wasn't.
I know.
She moves on from the asshole and decides that, she realizes this other guy.
I just imagine a woman walking away from a giant ass. Right?
She realizes the guy in cornrows and the bandana the whole time is actually the good guy. And
Is
and
he light skinned?
Oh my
he,
god.
he is light skinned.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not. Steve, thanks for ruining my argument.
I thought he was light skinned. I'm sorry.
Is he darker than me?
No, he's lighter than you.
Okay. Okay.
Which, in my opinion,
Oh,
is light skinned.
light skinned savior. Okay.
I knew where you were going with that. That's why I was mad that Steve came in and said, "Oh yeah, he was. He was totally light skinned."
Oh boy.
You'll never let me watch you again.
No.
What about you, Steve? Were you done, Tyler?
Oh yeah, no. I mean that's the resolution. That's you asked for the resolution of the movie. That's
Okay.
that's what happened.
Okay.
For mine, the family reunion, in most family reunion movies, in my head, when I was kind of going into this movie, I was anticipating that movie, The Cookout, where the whole movie was the cookout. Mm-hmm. But the family reunion is kind of near the end, where they keep they keep talking about the family reunion, and they finally go there.
I can't believe you've seen the cookout.
And Charlie and I have been.
I had to acknowledge it because that's another one that I dodged.
Charlie and I have been trying
They
so
made
hard
us-
to not make a cookout joke.
They
Just the fact that it's
they made that
this
movie had a
Madea movie
soundtrack
about
and a
family
song
reunion makes me
to
think of the
accompany it.
cookout naturally.
But I don't know if you felt that, but in my head when I originally thought about this movie, I thought the whole thing was going to be at the
Centered
family
around
reunion.
a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
And they would
family
talk
get
about
together.
hockey
Yeah.
and how black people don't like hockey.
Right.
Pretty much.
But the actual they kept talking about the family reunion, and it ends up being near the end of the movie where they kind of all the characters kind of come back together.
Okay.
And
To
they
cook outside.
yes.
Really?
And they bring in Aunt Ruby, who Aunt Ruby at the time, she's not a major character, but they're we're doing the family reunion at Aunt Ruby's, and Aunt Ruby is 96 years old.
Okay.
So she's real old, and
She's a real
some-
gem.
Oh,
so they're
don't acknowledge it.
they're helping her out of her house to come down and see everybody, and as they're bringing her down, they see. Some of the boys, they're throwing dice next to the thing, and when one of them loses, he gets real mad.
In a dice game, baby.
No, one of them loses, and they a kind of a fight breaks out, and they start cussing, and then they keep walking, and then they see all the girls kind of just dancing to music, and they're all all their shirts are tied up, showing off midriffs, and they're just dancing kind of suggestively.
A real cook-off scenario.
Yeah, but
Eddie's $1 million cook-off.
and they basically say is this what we paid for? And what you find out is the land that they're on was actually
Ancient Indian burial ground.
no, it was a plantation that freed that.
That's worse.
No.
It is.
It was a plantation that freed slaves who worked the plantation, bought from the plantation owner.
Freed them right
So
before
like
their death.
so like they were freed and they earned the money to buy the plantation to work off the land. And she was like, we were brought here against our will, but that doesn't mean that that's what we have. That has to be our lot in life. You have to like rise above it. Like we saw the young men and they were fighting and gambling and cursing, and the girls were just gyrating and being promiscuous looking, even though it's a fucking family reunion.
It's called twerking.
Yeah, well, it was before twerking was a thing.
No, it wasn't.
I mean,
You
maybe.
guys just didn't know about it.
Fair enough.
I've known for a very long time.
Fair enough.
But for yourself.
But they're
Charlie.
like we worked really hard and we bought this land and everything, and this entire family is from a generation of slaves. Like, we have to be better. Like, just because we were brought here against our will doesn't mean that has to be our lot in life. You have to help each other out, work harder, be better, and keep moving forward.
Okay.
And I thought, and it reminded me a long time ago. I read an article about
The cook-off?
Tyler Perry. No, about Tyler Perry, where it was like, okay, you have the nation's attention, do something with it.
Uh-huh.
And
remember
this
that.
and this was the message that I thought like was the point. Like, don't just be a fool.
Exactly. Okay.
Like do something more with your life because you have the opportunity now.
Yeah, don't be a fool. Make the cook-off.
yeah.
Yes.
Cookout.
Cook-
Oh, the cookout.
That's how I made that
What?
Eddie's $1 million cook-off.
Yeah, Eddie's $1 million cookout, the decom.
Why did I start saying cook-off?
I got a really quick
3
one for
times ago.
Steve, and then we can kind of get into some other stuff. Steve, where the fuck were you where you saw the cookout and I did not? and with who? I'm curious. I have to know
It was
how
on.
you saw it and I didn't.
There was a time in my life where I just watched USA like a whole lot.
I think I saw that in theaters. To be
No,
honest.
I didn't see Cookout. I'm gonna be honest. I did not see Cookout in theater. Like, but there was a
Steve's
time in
family is meta as fuck, and at a cookout, they rented one of those inflatable projector screens
And watched
they
the cookout.
rented cookout.
No,
See how black people live, God.
No, I just watched USA a whole lot. Like, I don't know why it was, but like when I was probably
SmackDown, right?
16 to no, I wasn't a big wrestling guy.
Okay.
But like about 16 to 17, I just watched USA all of the time.
Oh, wow.
For some reason,
So
and then
you watched it with commercials, Steve? You're ridiculous.
no. So one weekend I watched the Cookout just because it was on.
And it took an entire weekend.
No, it didn't take an entire weekend. They just played it the entire weekend.
You know what? Point Steve. They do that. Wow, that's incredible.
And then you get like the second Matrix movie too.
Yeah,
Out of nowhere.
Why do
Out
they
of
play?
nowhere.
No, they play the second Matrix movie at like 1 a.m, and then like we're gonna show some infomercials, and then at 5, first Matrix movie. Like, why? Why would you do that to me?
Because you should sleep at some point.
Yeah, and you got to learn about the new cookware coming out. So you know,
The
1999.
old copper pans.
Yeah, I do.
Set it and go take a shit.
Okay. Last question to kind of like fill it out. What character would you not mind having their own like spin-off show or movie because you actually enjoyed them as a character?
I'm gonna jump in on this, and
Because I know where you're going. Someone has to get it first.
yeah, I'm gonna say Madea,
Oh wow.
because Madea was only in my movie for maybe like 10 minutes total.
And she was the only bright spot.
Honestly, I was laughing. Like, genuinely laughing at the things she was doing. Like, that whole, like, calculating how much she's like, oh, you got it. Oh, like, it's like that. I mean, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of funny. Like, this is, and she was not the focal point of the movie.
Okay.
So, this kind of thing, it's like, oh, okay, I understand why this character has spawned an entire cinematic like universe essentially. Like, it's like, oh yeah, Medea's whatever, like everything. because she's only in this movie for a little bit, and it was like when she was in it, it was pretty funny. Like I'd be like, oh, I'd see more Madea. And
I actually can confirm. Like watching Tyler's movie, I was like, Medea's decent in this movie. Like it's because I feel like it's it was something I remember when I watched the
extended cut of
the extras of Scrubs. Mm-hmm. They talked about how when they came up with a joke that they didn't feel fit the main cast, they had like the secondary group cast that they would assign the joke to, which was like the characters that weren't the main characters, but
the
felt
French
like
characters,
yeah, the
like
French
the
characters,
janitor and stuff
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
They were like the janitor Jordan, and
like the girlfriend.
Yeah,
she's not really a main character, but yeah,
right. And so they were like, if we had a joke that we thought was really funny but didn't fit any of the main characters, we had these other characters just kind of enter the scene, and that's what I felt like Madea really was in Tyler's movie, where it was like jokes that didn't fit the tone of the movie, but fit the tone of Madea.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm surprised anything fits Madea.
Who are you, Joe?
Oh.
Joe, the her brother.
Oh, okay.
in the movie.
I was like, what
Joe, her brother in the movie, who does nothing but make fun of Medea's wife.
That took all of us way too. Especially we all saw.
I was right there.
We just all saw Madea movies and we didn't. Okay. Yeah. No.
Okay, Charlie. What about you? Spinoff. Who gets it?
If you wanted to take a character, I felt like Bow Wow really was. It's so stupid saying that. I felt like Bow Wow. His name's Shad, right?
Shad Moss.
I felt like
He's a
Bow Wow he was the most inspiring character out of all of them, though, because I would like to see. It's nice seeing somebody that, like, who has been fucking up a lot. Finally, just like, okay, I mean, I get what I have to do, and like, I can make something of myself. And I would actually say Isaiah Mustafa kind of played a father figure role to him, which is funny because his wife is then actually Bow Wow's mom. Mm-hmm. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. But they had a couple good scenes together where he was kind of the person telling him, like, hey, ditch these bitches, essentially.
Yeah.
Because one was camped out in a car waiting for him to get bailed out of jail.
Was he like a rapper? Or like, what was he doing to make money? Selling drugs?
No. Well, he was selling drugs on the side, but then he did like some sort of, I don't know, factory work or something. Just like moving boxes and stuff.
Javon just guessed that shit. What was he doing? Selling drugs?
I mean, I mentioned
He
that earlier.
said something about selling drugs.
I mentioned that earlier.
Oh, okay.
He mentioned something about selling drugs.
Good.
Okay, Charlie. Steve.
It wouldn't be funny or anything, but
Spinoff. I mean, it doesn't
Pursuit
have
of
to be funny.
Happiness style kind of thing.
Exactly.
I guess spinoff for me would be the older sister, her love interest. Mm-hmm. He was a bus driver who had a passion for art, and he had a son who he loved, and he was just a real good, honest character, and like he was one of those characters you're just like, he seems like a really nice guy, and I would be willing to follow him doing something, because there's a scene, because she's real untrusting and has a hard time loving and things like that, and she wakes up one time, like they're at his apartment, and she wakes up and her kids are gone, and she freaks out. Mm-hmm. And all it was he took the kids to get ice cream because she was asleep and the kids were playing, and he was like, I don't want the kids to wake her up. She doesn't get a lot of rest. I'll take the kids to get ice cream. But of course she freaks out because like her kids are just gone when she
leave
wakes
a
up.
Note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
I
always
leave a note.
Yes.
I mean, definitely what he did was probably not the best move, but then she...
Good intentions, at least.
Yeah, but then she extremely
Cruel
overreacts afterwards.
intentions.
Wow, really?
Sarah Michelle Gellar, baby.
Selma Blair. No, yeah, well, I got you. So, but like he was a good, honest character. All he wanted to do was just be with her, and it was weird because he was one. You know how like sometimes those good, honest characters are just kind of boring. Yeah. He was one of those guys that like he just seemed completely genuine, and I would have paid attention to like something that was going on with him. Like he seemed like a good, salt of the earth, nice guy who wasn't just after sex, wasn't just after anything else. He was like, you seem like a nice person. I want to get to know you, and we'll see where this goes.
Okay.
Well, did you get his number?
Yeah.
He gave her his number very early in the movie. Like, before you know he's a bus driver, really. He just kind of, like, he sees her at the spa, and he was dropping off a painting that he did for the spot. Like, he made a painting and sold it to them, and he was dropping it off. And he was like, oh, you ride my bus sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go out with you. Here's my number. And she's with her sister and her friend, and her friend's like,
oh, nigga,
you
drives
know,
buses.
well, she was. Well, no, she actually says
That's what Steve thought.
Actually, I'm reading his notes, and I actually see that exactly written down.
Yeah,
no,
Steve,
but like
with the hard R, Steve. Good job.
damn, you just
I had to get you
No,
a good. I had to get
damn
you
it.
another one.
no. She like her friend just says, you know, we're gonna talk about you as soon as you leave. Like, she just like straight up like looks in his face. She's like, we're gonna talk about this as soon as you were gone. And I was like,
he should just be
damn,
like,
poor guy.
Oh, I know.
The only thing
killed
worse than
himself.
dating a bus driver is having to ride the bus. So
Well, he does like he gives her his number and she doesn't call him or anything. And then he like asks her out on the bus. And like they're driving. He's like, "So you want to go out sometime?" And he's like, "What are you reading? Just poetry?" And like someone's like, "Okay, can you just say yes to go out with him because I don't want to listen to him as he drives my bus anymore."
that's terrible that woman would have that much confidence. To be
No, because
I'm not
just
dating a bus driver.
Yeah,
I don't even have a car, but I'm going places.
He's
Get outta here.
just driving. He's like, what kind of poetry you reading? She's like, oh, I write poetry. He's like, that's awesome. And he's just like legitimately holding a conversation with her, with the entire bus.
I'm
just
from LA
listening
and I
in.
used to ride buses, and that shit would drive me crazy. Stop talking.
No,
Let the
and
bus driver.
everybody was like, fucking go out with him
Yes,
so we can
please.
stop this.
Please give him a hand job. Do whatever.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa! We have skipped at least 4 dates.
Yeah. I mean, 4 dates. 4 dates.
4 days, Steve.
I am a traditionalist.
Chicken. I mean, I go by the future model: chicken wings and fries. We don't go on dates.
chicken wings. Wait, date 1 chicken wings and fries, and then it's happening.
Yeah, get back on the bus, baby.
Jesus.
But okay. Anything else? Any plot points you guys want to hit? Anything else you guys want to say directly?
Do we want to talk about our rape scenes?
I mean, because that's what this is gonna ultimately boil down to.
Shit.
A funny or an unfunny rape joke can make or break a Tyler Perry movie. We all know this, boys. We're 6 movies in.
I'm gonna shock you all and say that there's not that I remember. There's no rape joke
Boo!
in my movie.
Very Madea Halloween.
I am honestly surprised.
I mean, Steve, you watched
I don't-
all of
I
it
don't-
other than the first
in-
20
in
minutes.
what I
you
saw,
watched
I do
all
not
of it.
You guys were looking at each other. When's the joke?
Although I
But
do think there was a severe lack of consent by that paralyzed man when
well,
he was
there-
dumped.
yeah.
Well,
There's-
I mean, I thought you implied that in the beginning she was more or less being raped by her husband.
No, she was just an idiot.
Okay.
There's a scene.
Wow,
It's not,
you sound like the American judicial system.
she.
They're
There's
not
no.
mutually exclusive. You can be a dummy, but that also has a terrible atrocity.
I don't have
that's
a.
what I'm saying. But he's like, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
She's just an idiot. Like,
No, there's
ooh,
there's no like poor rape joke or like plot point or anything that just doesn't fit and is awkward. What
After credits scene.
there's what was kind of funny to me that I'll just put this out there is there's a scene near the beginning of the movie, so you find out that this marriage is kind of in shambles, but it's just for appearances because he's like a huge lawyer. Everybody knows
what is it about like big name, like big public jobs that they're like, you need to have a wife?
Because you can't be out there slaying. I'm gonna use the P word. You can't be out there slaying vagina.
No, if you start a sentence with slaying, you can't come back.
because
Like you
they-
have to reset that entire
and
sentence.
he looked at all of us. He said slaying and just looked at each. But no, she is like just infatuated with this man, and she knows that he's cheating on her. And they go. It's like they're this big celebration of his being this lawyer for however long, and they go back to their house, and she's just like, "Hey, I just want to be the person that you want to be with. Like, tell me, what can I do? I know that there's some shit going on the side, but what can I do that she does? Like, what can I do differently? Mm-hmm. Like, tell me, what can I do? And he just goes, he kind of just sighs a little bit, leans over towards her.
This is not going to be heartfelt.
Leans over towards her and opens up her side of the door and says, "You can get the hell out of my car."
and also out of his dreams.
He says, and that's what you can do.
Jeez Louise.
That is brutal.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Somebody better come up with a funny rape joke to even this out. This is terrible.
You might want to go to Charlie then.
Nah, we're going to you, baby. Let's hear it.
Okay, so for me, my rape was a very serious plot point. In both of the movies I've seen for, like, the two main Madea movies that I've seen for the cast, they have been serious plot points. For mine, the younger sister is the one that's getting married and was being hit, and the older one, you find out later that the mom, who her first husband was a musician and kind of basically took her to the poorhouse, her second husband was rich. So her first husband kind of took her to the poorhouse. Her second husband, and she has a daughter from each. Mm-hmm. And in order to stay with the second husband who is rich, she pimps her older daughter to him.
All right, and that's where we're wrapping that one up.
Oh my
God! And I don't remember exactly when it happens, but the way they imply it, it's probably somewhere between 8 and 12.
Oh my.
Does Tyler Perry not know how to make like another hard-hitting plot point?
I have no idea.
Like,
he was raped as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was
serious.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit! I did not know that.
Yeah, he came on Oprah and was like, "Yo, he was touching me."
Holy fuck!
That sucks.
Well, then maybe. Shit, this all makes more sense.
Yeah, because
the universe is so connected.
Tyler Perry uses rape as other directors use in The Deer, ruining everything in your car.
It's so played out.
Yeah. No, but like, basically, their mother, after having a real tough time, like being dragged down financially by a musician that's trying to make it, whatever. She marries a man who has a lot more money, and he's going to kick them out. He's done with them, and apparently the older daughter just remembers her mother having a conversation with him where she just says, "Fine, okay," and then she takes her up and gives her a bath, puts makeup on her, gives her perfume, and then from then on, every Sunday she takes her younger daughter to the museum, and her dad rapes her. It's
fuck.
And this was happening, and I was like,
"Yikes!"
No,
Jesus Christ.
and it's rough because then it kind of opens up the whole story in their mother.
Is it hot in here?
Maybe I haven't seen the cookout.
Yeah, but it kind of opens up this whole thing where because the mother is, despite the mother knowing that her younger daughter is getting hit by her fiance, she's still just do it. And it kind of makes that make sense. And it also makes the other daughter make more sense about how it's hard for her to open up to this guy who's being genuinely kind to her and wanting to be around her. But she can't open up to him because she's had terrible things happen to her. It's just awful.
Fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Shit. I almost feel bad about this being a topic because I did not know that about Tyler Perry.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse for him to
he does
in every fucking movie.
And not only that, I guess it's one movie. It's a serious plot point, and then another movie, it's a fucking joke. And so it's like, what?
I agree with that. It's
mind.
I can't understand it being a joke in a movie if it's something that you think should be a good serious plot point.
Yes.
The idea that you can use it, like you said, Tyler, the idea of using it as a serious plot point in one and a joke in the other is mind-boggling, especially now knowing that Tyler Perry went through it. Using it as a joke and having gone through it, it seems completely inappropriate.
So what's
Well,
the
here we go,
What's
then.
what's the stupid joke in your
God.
movie?
Is
Charlie?
yours a joke?
No, mine
Holy
isn't. I
fuck.
don't know. Hold on, I gotta set the scene first. Honestly, it's not really a joke or a serious thing. I just gotta kind of tell you how
It
it
just
played out.
happens.
2011.
Yeah. So the mother does die, probably about 20 minutes left in the movie, and all the
Hilarious.
family's there at the funeral, and they're all wearing their black clothes, and they just got out of church, and it's kind of like, I don't remember what you call it, but going like to the person's house, and people
wake?
usually yeah, I guess
Sort of like that.
yeah, where people bring like food and stuff, and
Yeah.
just like a morning session, and they're all starting to complain again, yada yada. And the old daughter, who's Bow Wow's mom, she's the one that's the rudest. Like, she's the one that was yelling at a baby. She keeps yelling all this stuff, and Medea's like, "Oh, y'all are fucked up, blah blah blah, but you need to get your shit together." And Bow Wow is already getting his shit together. The other daughter is working on it after her husband really grew as a person and told her to sit down and shut the fuck up. And Medea's like, "And you're only complaining all the fucking time because your uncle raped you when you were 12.
What?
But it wasn't a joke. But it wasn't like serious either, because one of the other characters just that doesn't
my
translate the
God.
podcast, but you get what I'm saying?
No,
Just like,
Yeah.
I know. Like it was.
Wowza
it was-
bowbowza.
Matter of factual,
Yeah, that they say it in a way that's just kind of like casual, but you're like, no, that's way more serious than the way you're presenting it right now.
Yeah.
Jesus. And that motherfucker wrote that down onto a script and
every
said,
single time he makes a
maybe.
movie. Apparently.
Yeah, very consistently does he write that down.
Jesus Christ! All right, that's. I gotta.
I mean, the delivery was. The reactions were almost funny, but they weren't serious. I don't know. You just have to see it, I guess. Well, you really don't have to.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, please don't.
"Hey, Jovan, what?"
And I'll go ahead
No, I was gonna say let's
on that. Yeah, I was gonna say on
I
that.
do.
let's give your
2 long Maury sequences in my show. One with Madea on it in my movie.
Oh,
I don't have any showstopper specific things like that. Steve, do you? All right. Well,
No.
Jovan, do you have your final decision
yeah.
as to what?
Yeah.
All right. Let's
I think.
let's see what you got.
We're
Very
gonna hang
good
out.
things in all of them.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out after this, and I do want to hear about those Maury sequences because there's nothing more I love than an hour-long session of Who's the Father.
One of them was basically a
I'm
full
not the
recreation of the guy that does like the worm,
crab
like,
walk.
yeah.
I'm not the pappy.
I ain't no pappy. But I have to see these fight scenes in Steve's movie.
Yes.
I have to see these fight scenes.
Oh.
And honestly, it's like he fleshed out the movie the best, and it actually sounds like it could be interesting and pull you in a little bit because there are pretty deep plot lines.
And what was the title of Steve's movie?
Family Reunion.
Alrighty. All right. Finish your thought. I got the Rotten Tomatoes stuff queued up.
No,
Finish your.
Sounds a lot like Mine is the Worst.
Yeah, when I was doing this, Tyler told me pick out the movies, and he was like, "What are the make sure the Rotten Tomatoes scores are below 60%." I was like, "Don't worry, they are."
I wonder if they're 60 combined.
But no. But yeah, I definitely Steve fleshed out the movie the best, and it definitely feels like something that could be human because like I've said about like the Get Out stuff, it's like black people are portrayed as like caricatures all the time, and it seems like this is like a real depiction of like a real family, albeit beating each other
No,
up.
hey, he didn't see the Cookout, right?
I've seen the Cookout.
I have seen
the Cookout.
He's seen more black movies than me. I can't fuck with Steve at all.
All right. So the Medea's family reunion is sitting.
Steve has Friday on bootleg. He doesn't fuck around.
Dude,
at all.
no, don't fuck with me. I've
And
seen
it's
Friday a bunch
perfectly
of times.
available in many mediums.
I will say I haven't seen like next Friday or Friday after next as much.
Oh,
But
Steve.
Friday.
You're hurting your case, but no.
Friday's
He already
a
won.
classic.
Yeah.
So Medea's family reunion is sitting nice at a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. Average rating of 4.5 out of 10 out of 55 reviews. That's
Lord.
14 fresh, 41 rotten. The critics' consensus is Tyler Perry's Medea's family reunion is sincere in its positive intentions, but leaves something to be desired as a film.
Okay.
And if we're looking at some rotten reviews, we got Tyler Perry's heart is in the right place, but he is still has 10 ear. I don't really know what that means. Here's a positive review.
No, does it say tin ear?
Yes.
It means it's basically like he's tone deaf. So like he understands the idea, but he can't put it together in a way that's pleasing.
Can't
He
step
can't
away
finish.
from it and
He
listen
can't
to it
finish
as
the
an
play.
outside person. Be like, this doesn't. I get what you're trying to do, but it sounds dumb.
I like this positive review. It's a Tyler Perry tour de force.
Oh man. That's it.
Yes.
I guess that's it.
They can't use
Black
they,
people
they've
acting
run-
foolish and raping people, beating each other
they-
up.
they
Add a
ran-
gun scene in there. Boom. Tour de force, baby.
Get the grits.
They ran out of characters.
What Jovan, what do you want to hear next as far as Rotten Tomatoes scores? We got two other movies.
I want to hear Charlie's
All right, so we got
because those are very similar.
Medea's Big Happy Family is actually at the highest Rotten Tomatoes score with
Shouldn't be.
38%. 4.6 out of 10, 40 reviews, 15 fresh, 25 rotten, no critics consensus.
It's very divisive.
And positive review is if Perry gets on your wavelength, you can forgive him too. He's only the host at a home-cooked banquet of wild emotions.
It's pretty.
And a rotten review is Tyler Perry goes to the Madea well once too often and comes up dry.
When was that written?
Yesterday
2011.
by user Charlie Pixley.
I mean, because that person is stewing in a pot of angriness because there's two Madea movies like every year it seems like.
Here's another rotten one. Medea's Big Happy Family nonsensically knots the spiritual and the salacious, asking gossipy questions, then giving pulpit answers so that the movie is wonderfully, woefully absurd.
Sounds about right.
Charlie?
I mean, final thoughts are coming up, I guess.
I
Or
can't wait
real
for that.
thoughts, I guess.
Wait for it.
And then my movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, is at a 16% at the lowest of the
You know what?
three.
I imagine that would be the highest rated one because that's
It's the original?
That's
It's before it's old.
That's the signs. That's
Yeah, and it
that's
says,
that's the
I
hot
mean,
shit.
even the poster says the movie after the end. So it's like, this isn't the stage play. This
Yeah.
is Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the movie.
the movie.
And
what
it's
you've been waiting for.
it's
Got it
the-
for you, hot on the streets.
3.9 out of 10, 112 reviews, 18 fresh, 94 rotten. Critics consensus, Tyler Perry's successful play can't make the movie to the screen. This mix of slapstick, melodrama, and spiritually lacks a consistent tone.
Okay.
And a rotten review is stay clear of this mess.
Oh God.
Is that how you feel, Tyler?
A positive review is
Oh, just ignoring. Okay.
it is a film full of jagged edges, but one that is sincere and beguiling at its core.
Okay.
Syrupy drama, not much here for kids. That's a rotten review.
Syrupy.
Let's go and let's just jump into
Real
real thoughts for a second here. We're going pretty long, but
I mean, we do have 3 movies this time.
that's true.
So it's
that's
like
true.
it's reasonable that the cast.
Javon, what do you want to hear real thoughts from first?
I want to hear real thoughts from you.
This movie was dumb.
Really?
I say that a lot. I say that about almost
It
every
is a
movie I
very
see.
consistent.
But it was, I mean, the main character, the Mad Black Woman, she was an idiot. Like, I watched it with
an idiot for staying, an idiot in behavior, an idiot for...
An idiot for staying and still being in love so deeply with this man that gave no shit about her.
I was going to say, and for wearing those shoes with that dress.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Well, when I was watching it, there was a scene where you find out that he ends up getting shot, and that's why he's paralyzed. And you find out that the original wife still has power of attorney. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you do whatever it is you can to save him. Where the other one was like, just fucking kill him. Like, she was like, just let him go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Jesus.
Yes.
Because she was like, what kind of quality of life he would have? And the girl was like, what do you mean? Like, he would have life. Like,
yeah,
that's quality of life.
That's great.
It was just insane.
She was trying to cash some checks.
It was just kind of a mess as far as like, oh well, this story is happening, and she's like vindictive towards him, and then all of a sudden, oh, he can walk because they went to church, and then now
Wait,
she's
that happened.
Yes.
They're in church and they're like singing hymnals, and he kind of is moved to stand.
He doesn't kind of. He stands up.
He's still using a cane.
A windmill.
He's still using a cane at the time. There is no windmills. Still using a cane.
Yeah, he. It's like he's moved by the Lord to stand up and walk, and it's just not really.
This bitch has been trying to drown me in the tub every time.
Like, get me away from this coat.
It was it was just so weird, like
which he said
she was just so still like connected to this guy who just gave no fucking time of day about. And to me it was like, okay, what the fuck are, like, he told you what can you I'm cheating on you, what can you do? Get out of my car. And then she even ran into, she was like, oh, I'm going to surprise him at his work with lunch. And she shows up. She shows up and
banging the light-skinned secretary on the desk.
He's walking out of his office with the light-skinned girl that he's been banging with, and she's holding a child.
Ooh, daddy.
I will say, like, she is significantly more light-skinned than the main character.
That's how it works.
I don't know. I don't know if that is, like, I wouldn't have thought to say it until you mentioned it. But it's true.
But after she even sees this woman with a child with him, she's still like, oh, maybe he still loves me. Yes. And I'm like, no, you're being an idiot. Like, just fucking stop being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It was a mess. Like, yeah. Let's go somebody else.
Steve? Because I know Charlie's about to drop some bombs on this thing.
To be honest, mine was much better than I thought it was going to be.
Charlie did bring that air horn, so I was wondering.
Bang! Damn, son, where'd you get this?
The three plots I had could have each individually been movies, and have generally each been individually movies, like, at other times. But, like, overall, it wasn't bad. The message wasn't bad. Mm-hmm. It was, like, some things felt rushed and some things felt out of place because they didn't have time to set them up because of the time that was being devoted to them specifically. And I think that was the problem, because it was similar to my last Tyler Perry movie, where it was, like, the Tyler Perry character, like, Madea... Mm-hmm. Wasn't really necessary.
The Tyler Perry character?
Yeah. No,
the only sane one in the bunch?
Yeah.
There's like 3 Tyler Perry characters at least.
Medea's section with the foster child, while the girl did get, like, became better and everything, like, it didn't fit with the other two. Because the one was about escaping a relationship that was, like, toxic for her, and the other one was realizing that not all relationships are toxic. So, like, those two mirrored in each other could have made a solid counterpoint in the movie, whereas the other one just kind of felt like it was there. And then, as always in Tyler Perry, like, in the times that I've seen Tyler Perry movies, there seems to be, like, these running gags that don't make sense. And in this one, it was the woman that was trying to open up more. She had 2 kids, and Tyler Perry's character is Joe, like, the main Tyler Perry character, Brian,
The lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer.
Yeah.
His dad. He and other characters as well kept saying like, "Oh, she's got 2 kids. Don't date her." Like it was this weird like don't date women with children. And it just felt really weird.
It's one of my life.
But they're like, "You sure you want to date her? She's got 2 kids. Run!" And when he was talking to her on the bus, they were like, "You sure want to date her? She's got 2 kids. That's a bad idea."
Sounds like sensible people.
And even the kid is like, "You sure you want to date my mom? I'm one of her kids."
Yeah, no. And at the end of the movie, the wedding was supposed to take place, and he steps in and is like, we can still have a wedding. I would like to. I'm in love with you. I would like to marry you.
At the bus stop.
And they end up getting married, and that's fine. But like as they're getting married, Joe, like Uncle Joe or whatever, he's holding up a sign that's like, "Are you sure she's got 2 kids?" I was like,
that's hilarious.
Like, Jesus
but that's
Christ.
hilarious.
No, it was really funny.
It's
It was really funny, but like I was like, this is insane.
Because if that guy was my friend, I'd be like, "Are you really courting a woman with 2 children? What are you doing?"
And like also the wedding was ridiculous. It was like the most expensive one of the ones that they were looking at. But they go into the church and there are women hung from the ceiling playing like violins and harps, pretending to be angels. And I was like, this is super uncomfortable.
This is Gotti.
Like it was just.
Yo, Gotti, bang, bring it back around.
I meant God-y because it's in a church. Way shittier joke.
It was just bizarre.
You can never give Charlie anything. But
No, you can give me everything.
But
I'll
like I
do
said,
something.
like I said, overall, I thought the
Some
movie was
recognition.
way better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. Charlie, with the ether?
And he apparently just caught a gnat. What was that?
It was
a
a gnat.
fucking.
No, that was a
It's
Mr.
not-
Miyagi.
Yeah, I was
right
about
there.
to
Caught it
say,
from the
air.
shit.
Charlie is the Avatar.
All right. Final thoughts, Charlie? Real thoughts?
So I've seen quite a few Madea movies, and they've always been pretty pleasant. But this one actually really pissed me off watching it. It was so terrible. Every character was bad. Bow Wow didn't get his shit together. Was still a piece of shit at the end.
Oh my God, Charlie! You fucking deceived me.
Yeah, everything.
That's the point of the cast.
He said, yeah.
And the whole movie was fucking terrible and annoying as shit. Some of the humor works for Madea, but a lot of it in this, especially with the Maury segment, she just goes like, "You are the father. You are the father. You are the father. You are the father. You are the father." I'm not joking. About 15 times in a row, and like, okay,
Have you
maybe
never
that was
seen
a joke.
the show?
It's never like that. I used to watch like every single day. It's not like that though, and you wouldn't put that in a movie necessarily, too.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, okay. And then she changes it up to, "You are the daddy. You are the daddy. You are the dad." And I'm not gonna do it for this because motherfuckers don't want to listen to this shit either.
fuck.
And I mean, that wasn't even only on the Maury segment. It was all throughout it. And the dialogue was so bad. At one point at the dinner, when Madea brings some shit up, she goes, "I'm so glad I came here. I really got this whole thing straightened out." And then her friend looks at her and goes, "Madea, I'm so glad you came here. You really got this whole thing straightened out." And I thought maybe they were going to have her like laugh and like, "You're so stupid. You just said what I just said."
Yeah.
Nope, just a cut after that. Like the exact same phrasing too, just changing
That-
the
that
pronoun
is
from
what I've-
I'm to she.
I feel like a lot of these movies, and like even though I said that my movie was decent, like it was a problem in my movie too, where it just feels like they're artificially trying to extend the time of things happening.
It could be.
Because like my movie had 3 separate plots that have genuinely been full other movies.
Yeah. And there were so many stereotypes in this that were not discouraged at all. Almost everybody had kids out of wedlock. Almost everybody was on food stamps and like having to pay
assistance.
child care or child support to other characters. And they're like, "Oh, you just got to do it. Don't worry about it." Blah blah blah. And like it's no big deal. All this stuff and treating it so lightly and so
like,
dismissively.
blasé, just
yeah,
like,
it's
yeah, that's what it
the
is.
Fuck? And
Yeah, I
this
had a
one
kid
chick,
with those 4 women.
the one chick they don't like her in the movie, but they call her like the ghetto one. She's the baby mama. She was, man. If I met the actress, it would be hard to not be like, "You're a piece of shit." Even it would be
Well,
hard
she
to
did
dissociate the character from the person. And I think Bow
So
Wow's.
she deserves an Academy Award.
I think Bow Wow's character what was his name, Aaron or something with N at the end, and she would go, I'm not joking you, so many times throughout the movie. I really was stone-faced throughout this whole thing, except for the floor joke. I did like that. She would go, Aaron, and she's like, because I'm like a siren. And she would do it. She did it probably about 10 times throughout the movie for about 30 seconds.
This movie sounds
I was
insufferable.
fucking pissed
Like,
by the end of it. Yep, I was stone-faced the entire time, and it really kind of turned me off of, not that I've ever gone like, oh, Madea movies are the best, but it's always like, oh, they're funny shit movies to watch.
We were knee slapping throughout.
They're funny shit movies to watch though, but then this was so bad, and it really just made me pissed off. And it's like, this is so garbage. If I were black, I would be fucking furious if I'd watch this and be like, I can't.
That's kind of why I don't watch them, because I feel like.
But I think some of the other ones you could, and it would be
yeah,
funny.
like Steve sounds good.
Mine was, like, it did have some faults, but it truly did, like, the majority of the things was like, we need, like, stop being a fucking stereotype.
Yeah, and I don't think mine perpetuated any stereotypes. As much of a mess as it wasn't like, oh, black people are like this, right? Get it?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, oh, these are people going through some shit, and they're like.
But that's definitely why I've stayed away from them, because it's just like, you want to portray black people in a certain light, or like, you want to show that they have hardships and everything else like everybody else. But if I feel like it's brought down so much before it's brought up. And
they turn up to 11 too for some of the stuff. Where like some of the things, okay, certain people do actually do those things, but then when you crank it up like full, what? You're not even speaking English.
It's shucking and jiving.
Yeah.
It becomes, as Spike Lee would say, coonery buffoonery, which I can't participate.
But it's weird because the movies are usually marketed towards black people.
Like my mom will watch it, my sister will watch it, and people in my family definitely watch these movies, and I just cannot be a part of it, because I just feel like it's just so many tropes and so many bad things before it actually gets good and starts to show black people in a good light, and it's awful.
So I guess the moral of this podcast is
no more Tyler Perry
movies. Don't forget
movies?
that the dad from American Pie will play the black guy in my Madea movie.
From
what's his name again? Eugene Levy.
Episode 8, Madea versus Madea, a while back. He's related to Joe, apparently.
Joe's son.
Yeah, he's Joe's son. Eugene Levy is Joe's son. So I think the moral is just do not watch Tyler Perry movies.
I mean, hey, we're all riding our own horses. You watch what you want to watch. But
I still think you get away with watching Boo.
Yeah,
and Boo was pretty stupid.
But in that way, like
some you know what you're going into, but if you're going into a movie trying to watch, something productive and have a good opinion about black people, maybe stay away from Tyler Perry movies.
Other than that, we check us out. I guess this is the end of the podcast. We've done everything that we do on this podcast. Check us out on the socials. We got Movie Versus at Movie Versus Podcast on Twitter.
Dark web.
Movie Versus Podcast on the dark web. You gotta have a Tor browser for that.
Yeah.
Movie Versus Facebook page. Make sure to check out Three Wise Media. They've got a Facebook page. We're on their YouTube channel. They also have their own Three Wise Radio podcast. Check them out.
I don't get to sign off.
I was gonna say, does Jovan want to plug anything?
I have nothing to plug. Don't do social media too much, but I do want to say I'm definitely a fan of you guys, and what you guys are doing, and I'm liking how it's growing. And the next guest who does a prequel and a full episode better come correct. I think we're done with Madea movies for a while, guys.
I hope for forever.
If I wouldn't have had this one, I'd be like, yeah, I'd do another one, but woof. Pissed me off. Like I just shut my laptop.
I'm glad that we've been stalling for a little bit, because Steve actually walked away. And he
is using the bathroom that I stomped up.
He has. I think he has something that he wants to give to you, Jovan, as a little gift. So if Steve would hurry up. then he could come back.
Wash your hands.
And we'd love to have you back too.
I would.
you know?
I would love. It's been a great experience. Just not the podcast, and just being out here, especially all these special occasions going on. We can't stall any longer, Steve. What's
All
going
right,
on?
I guess I'll just edit this out. What is he? What is?
I'm getting the thing.
Oh, and okay, Steve just pocketed his thing.
Pocketed it?
I guess he hid it
I
behind.
think I saw what it is. For the,
It's because it would have been in line with our original cast. I got Jovan some wacky Tic Tacs.
Oh my god! Fucking.
They are minion Tic Tacs.
yeah, they got the custom printing on it.
Yeah, with printing on the Tic Tacs to make them look like minions.
Boys up? I want to try one of those. I've never had a
I
banana Tic Tac.
actually was gonna say.
Banana.
I mean, they are just banana Tic Tacs.
I was actually gonna save these, never open them, throw them in a box, and then hope for
Sell
financial
'em,
windfall
yeah.
in like 20 years, because these are gonna be worth nothing when I open them. I'm running out of options. to
They
get
might
rich.
actually be hazardous, like negative value.
I'm so glad you love them.
Thank you guys. We're in for a big hug after we wrap this up. Thank you.
All right.
It's been great.
All right, bye.
Mouth hug.
All right, let's do a car.
Let's do a what?
You and me, Steve and I are doing a car.
If you want it.
I absolutely want one.
Same hats. We gotta.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.